Welcome the rare gems. Some women heal you, others teach you. But Sigma women, they change the entire course of your life without lifting a finger. In a world full of surface-level connections and fake smiles, Sigma females walk with quiet power. They're not here to fit in, play nice, or follow the script. They don't seek attention. In fact, most people misunderstand them until it's too late. Sigma women are the storm that no one sees coming. For those who mean well, they're a sanctuary. But for the selfish, the manipulators, the liars and abusers, a Sigma woman becomes karma in human form. Not because she wants revenge, not because she plays games, but because her very presence forces truth to surface. She doesn't beg, chase, or compete. She observes, learns, and walks away when it's time, without a single warning. And that silence, that calm detachment, it shakes egos, breaks illusions, and triggers a reckoning. This video is not about putting women on a pedestal or romanticizing struggle. It's about recognizing the raw truth of what happens when a deeply self-aware woman crosses paths with someone who thinks they can manipulate her. So if you've ever felt misunderstood, dismissed, or judged for being too quiet, too intense, or too distant, this is for you. If you've ever watched someone's mask fall apart after you left their life, this is your confirmation. Watch till the end. This is your wisdom, your warning, your power, and maybe your reminder that you were never the villain, you were the mirror. Let's get started. The rare gems. Number 1. They don't play victim. They strategize silently. Most people, when hurt or betrayed, either break down publicly or go into dramatic meltdown mode. They vent, they post cryptic messages, they gather sympathy, and in some cases they try to get even. But Sigma females, they don't move like that. They don't announce their pain or wave red flags around. They simply observe, process, and vanish. No noise, no warning, just silence. And a storm that starts to brew behind closed doors. When someone wrongs a Sigma woman, she doesn't run to friends crying or try to get people on her side. She knows that energy spent on drama is energy lost. Instead, she chooses solitude. She steps back, not to hide or sulk, but to study the situation from every angle. She asks herself real questions. Why did this happen? What patterns are repeating? What truth am I not seeing? Then she makes her next move with brutal clarity and surgical accuracy. Let's say someone lied to her, manipulated her, and tried to make her feel small. She won't confront them right away. She'll watch. She'll connect the dots. And then, when the time is right, she walks away, cuts them off, and never looks back. No yelling, no explaining, just distance so loud it echoes. That kind of silence isn't weakness, it's power. And that's exactly what rattles the ones who tried to break her. They expect chaos. They get calm. They expect tears. They get indifference. And the worst part for the evildoer, the Sigma female doesn't just survive the betrayal, she evolves because of it. Her absence becomes the consequence. Her growth becomes the revenge. So if you're a Sigma woman watching this, let this be your reminder. You're not cold. You're calculated. You're not quiet because you're weak. You're quiet because you're wise. Keep moving in silence. Let your results speak. Let your peace be the punishment. Number 2. They're comfortable being the villain in someone else's story. One of the most underrated powers of a Sigma woman is this. She does not care if you misunderstand her. Let that sink in. She doesn't rush to defend herself, doesn't chase after people to fix false stories, and absolutely doesn't lose sleep over someone painting her as cold, selfish, or the problem. Why? Because she knows the truth always comes out, and she has no interest in playing a character in someone else's drama. See, when a Sigma woman removes herself from a toxic situation, whether it's a fake friend, a narcissistic partner, or a manipulative family member, she often becomes the target of twisted narratives. Suddenly she's the ungrateful one, the abandoner, the one who changed. But instead of fighting back or explaining her side, she lets the lie sit. She lets them talk. Because she knows the people who really matter don't need convincing, and the ones who believe the lie were never on her side to begin with. Let's say someone who wronged her starts spreading stories to make themselves look like the victim. Most people would feel the urge to clear their name. Not her. She lets it go. Why? Because she knows one universal truth. People always reveal themselves in time. The same person who tries to make her look like the villain will show their true nature to others eventually. All she has to do is stay silent, stay true, and let karma do its thing. This kind of emotional detachment confuses evildoers. They're used to people scrambling for approval. But a Sigma woman doesn't need to be liked to feel whole. She doesn't owe the world her side of the story. Her peace is louder than their noise. So if you're a Sigma woman, stop explaining. Let them believe what they want. You're not here to be understood by everyone. You're here to protect your soul and live your truth, even if it makes you the villain in someone else's fiction. Number 3. They withhold validation from the corrupt. There's one thing people with dark intentions hate more than being called out, and that's being ignored, especially by someone they can't control. This is where the Sigma female hits the hardest, and she doesn't even try. She simply refuses to feed the ego. No applause, no reaction, no emotional response. And that silence, that lack of validation, it eats away at manipulators faster than any argument ever could. Evil doesn't always show up in obvious ways. Sometimes it wears charm, plays the victim, or acts like it has your best interest at heart. These people thrive on being admired, feared, or needed. They bait others into emotional reactions because that's how they stay in control. But when they cross paths with a Sigma woman, everything falls flat. Why? Because she does not give energy to what feels fake, dishonest, or manipulative. She sees through it. And worse for them, she doesn't flinch. Let's say someone is trying to guilt-trip her or pull her into drama. Instead of defending herself or trying to explain, she simply pulls back. She lets their words hang in the air. She doesn't text back. She doesn't explain her silence. She knows her energy is valuable, and she won't spend it on someone who's playing a game. And here's what really makes her dangerous to toxic people. She doesn't need their approval, love, or attention either. That makes her unreachable. And when evil can't get a reaction, it starts to collapse in on itself. The lies stop working, the charm loses power, the fear tactics fail, and the corrupt start to feel what they fear most: powerlessness. So if you're a Sigma woman, keep withholding your energy from people who don't deserve it. Don't argue with liars. Don't comfort manipulators. Don't entertain chaos. Your indifference is your weapon. Your silence is their unraveling. Number 4. They destroy power structures without ever raising their voice. There's a quiet kind of rebellion that lives inside every Sigma woman. She doesn't yell, doesn't threaten, and doesn't try to take over. What she does is far more disruptive. She stops playing the game, and that alone is enough to make entire power structures crumble. Whether it's a manipulative boss, a narcissistic partner, or a controlling family dynamic, power only exists if people keep feeding it. It relies on fear, silence, approval, or emotional reactions. But the Sigma female gives none of that. She sees the illusion for what it is. She notices the subtle control tactics, the guilt trips, the unspoken rules, and she chooses not to play along. Imagine a workplace where the loudest voice gets the credit, and everyone's walking on eggshells around a toxic leader. Most people keep their heads down, trying to survive. But the Sigma woman doesn't fake respect. She doesn't kiss up. She does her work with calm confidence and refuses to be pulled into the politics. Her silence says, "I see you, but you have no power here." In a narcissistic relationship, the same thing happens. While others would argue, beg, or react to emotional games, she becomes emotionally unavailable. She no longer explains, no longer justifies, no longer plays the role that gives the narcissist control. That's what throws them off balance. When she stops reacting, their entire system of manipulation begins to collapse. And she does all this without ever raising her voice, without causing a scene. Her energy becomes a silent revolution. Her boundaries become the wrecking ball. So if you're a Sigma woman, understand this. Your refusal to participate is a power move. Your silence speaks volumes. You don't have to fight fire with fire when you are the fire. And when you stop showing up to the illusion stops working. That's how real power shifts, quietly and permanently. Number 5. They transmute pain into power without external help. When life breaks most people, they look for crutches, constant venting, rebound relationships, public pity, or endless cycles of distraction. But a Sigma woman, she walks straight into the fire alone, not to be a martyr, but because she knows that true healing isn't something you outsource. It's something you own completely. Sigma females don't need a round table of opinions to process betrayal. They don't heal through loud declarations or trying to prove they're over it. When someone hurts them, disrespects them, or tries to tear them down, they don't fall apart, they disappear. Not to run, but to rebuild, quietly, privately, ruthlessly. Imagine a Sigma woman blindsided by someone she trusted deeply. Maybe it was a partner who lied, a friend who betrayed her, or a workplace that undervalued her. She doesn't run to social media to vent. She doesn't jump into another relationship to fill the gap. She sits in the discomfort. She examines the wound. She feels every ounce of the pain, and then she turns it into strategy. That pain, it becomes clarity. That betrayal, it becomes a blueprint. She doesn't just get stronger, she gets smarter. Her boundaries tighten. Her vision sharpens. Her standards evolve. And the next time someone like that tries to come into her life, she sees it coming a mile away and blocks it at the gate. This is what makes Sigma women different. They alchemize pain into power, not with the help of a cheering squad, not through performative healing, but through deep, raw, personal work that no one sees, but everyone feels once she comes back. So if you're a Sigma woman, know this: you don't need to explain how you healed. You don't need to prove that you're okay. You turned your wound into wisdom, and now you're not just healed. You're dangerous in the best possible way. Number 6. They are unshakably rooted in self-integrity. One thing corrupt people rely on is doubt, making you question your worth, your memory, your reality. They twist facts, rewrite stories, and use guilt like a weapon. But a Sigma woman? She's already done the hard work before the battle even begins. She's faced her own shadows, confronted her weaknesses, and made peace with her flaws. That means there's no room left for manipulation. When a toxic person tries to gaslight her, it doesn't stick. She's not confused or second-guessing herself. She knows who she is, what she stands for, and where her boundaries lie. That kind of self-awareness is a fortress, a place where lies bounce off, guilt trips evaporate, and emotional blackmail falls flat. Think about someone trying to make her feel guilty for setting a boundary or walking away from a bad situation. Most people might crumble, wondering if they overreacted or if they're being too harsh. But the Sigma female? She feels the sting, sure, but it doesn't shake her core. She reminds herself of her truth, of the hard lessons she's learned, and moves forward without hesitation. Her integrity isn't about perfection. It's about being honest with herself, owning her story, and refusing to let others rewrite it. This inner strength makes her immovable, no matter how hard people try to knock her down. So for any Sigma woman watching, remember, the work you've done inside is your greatest armor. When you stand firm in your truth, no corrupt person can tear you down. You become a mountain, steady, strong, and unshakable. And that is the real power no one can take away. Number 7. They don't convert the damaged. They evaporate from their reality. Some people believe they can fix everyone around them. They pour their time, emotions, and energy into trying to save those who are broken, damaged, or stuck in toxic patterns. But a Sigma female, she sees this for what it really is, a trap. She knows that no amount of effort will change someone who doesn't want to change. So instead of wasting herself trying to convert the impossible, she disappears. Completely. She doesn't argue, beg, or explain why she's leaving. She doesn't play the role of savior or counselor. She simply vanishes like a ghost, silent, untraceable, unforgettable. This kind of disappearance isn't about punishment. It's about self-preservation. It's about refusing to be a part of someone else's drama or dysfunction. And here's the kicker. That ghosting isn't just painful. It shatters egos. Toxic people rely on control, attention, and dependency to keep their power. When a Sigma woman evaporates, she leaves behind a void so empty it screams louder than any confrontation could. Suddenly, the broken person has no one to manipulate, no safety net, no audience. Imagine someone who's used to pulling you back whenever you try to leave, texting, calling, guilt-tripping. But with a Sigma woman, there's nothing, no reply, no closure, just silence. And that silence, It unsettles them more than any fight. So if you're a Sigma female, honor your energy. Don't waste it on trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. Your power lies in knowing when to walk away, and walk away completely. Be the ghost they can't catch, the lesson they never forget, and the freedom they never expected. Number 8. They recognize energetic leeching instantly. A Sigma woman is deeply in tune with her energy. She knows exactly how she feels in every interaction, whether it's uplifting, neutral, or draining. And when someone starts to feed off her, whether it's a so-called friend soaking up her positivity without giving back, or a partner taking her loyalty for granted, she senses it immediately. It's like an invisible weight pressing down, sucking the life out of her spirit. She doesn't ignore the signs. She doesn't make excuses or hope the other person will change. Instead, she protects her energy fiercely. The moment she feels that drain, that imbalance, she cuts the cord without hesitation. No lengthy explanations, no guilt trips, no second chances that come with strings attached. Just a clean break. Think about it like this. You know how a phone battery dies faster if apps keep running in the background? The same happens to her emotional and mental battery when people drain her without giving back. And she refuses to be anyone's charger. She chooses to conserve her power for herself and those who truly value it. This ability to spot and stop energetic leeching keeps her healthy, focused, and unstoppable. It also sends a clear message to everyone around her. She is not a resource to be exploited. She is a force to be respected. So if you're a Sigma woman, trust your gut on this. Don't let anyone dim your light by draining your energy. Protect your glow like the rare gift it is. Because once you start guarding your energy fiercely, you become untouchable. And that's a power no one can steal. Number 9. They can forgive without reconnection. A Sigma woman understands that forgiveness is not a ticket back into her life. It's not about letting someone off the hook so they can keep hurting her. Instead, forgiveness for her is a quiet spiritual release, a way to free herself from bitterness and rage without reopening the door for more pain. She doesn't carry grudges, but she also doesn't give second chances to people who've proven themselves toxic. She forgives, because holding on to anger only weighs her down. But forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or inviting someone back in. It means saying, I release you from my heart, but I'm not giving you access to my world again. For the people who have harmed her, this is far worse than punishment. They don't get the satisfaction of watching her suffer, nor do they get the opportunity to manipulate her again. Instead, they're left outside, locked out of a life they once thought they could control or influence. Imagine someone who betrayed her trust expecting a comeback. Instead, they face silence, not hostility, not tears, just calm absence. It's a kind of closure that doesn't demand confrontation but still draws a permanent line. This kind of forgiveness is the ultimate power move. It shows emotional maturity and strength. It says, I am above your toxicity, and I choose peace over pain. So if you're a Sigma woman, remember this. Forgiving isn't for them, it's for you. Forgive to heal, to grow, and to move on. But never mistake forgiveness for an invitation. Protect your space, guard your soul, and keep the door closed to those who don't deserve a second chance. Number 10. They are chaos to systems built on control. Some environments survive by keeping everyone in line, whether it's a rigid religious group, a toxic family, or the manipulative games of a narcissist. These systems depend on obedience, silence, and submission to maintain their grip. But a Sigma woman? She is the unpredictable storm they can't tame. Her refusal to bow down or play by their rules shakes everything to its core. She doesn't follow the script. She questions the unspoken laws. She challenges the status quo simply by being herself, authentic, independent, and unyielding. Imagine a family where control is the currency. Everyone knows their place, and anyone who steps out faces punishment or isolation. When a Sigma female refuses to submit, she becomes a threat. Not because she's loud or violent, but because her very presence exposes the cracks. She refuses to be silenced or manipulated, and that cracks the illusion of control for everyone else. In a cult-like group where blind loyalty is demanded, she's the rogue element. She won't join the chant. She won't follow the leader blindly. Her independence is contagious and dangerous to those who want to keep people trapped. Even narcissists, masters of control, find her unsettling. She doesn't feed their ego or dance to their tune. Instead, she stands firm and holds her ground. And because their power depends on control, her resistance is like chaos in their carefully constructed world. So if you're a Sigma woman, know this: your refusal to submit is your greatest weapon. You don't need to fight their battles loudly, you simply need to be unbreakable. Because systems built on control cannot survive in the presence of someone who refuses to be controlled. You are the tremor before the fall. Number 11. They make evil people self-destruct by doing nothing. Manipulators and toxic people thrive on reactions. They feed on chaos, confusion, and emotional drama because it fuels their control. But a Sigma woman, she refuses to play their game. She stays calm, detached, and silent like a stone unmoved by waves. When she stops engaging, when she refuses to react to their provocations or manipulations, something powerful happens. The manipulator is left with no fuel, no drama to exploit, no chaos to control. Suddenly, their carefully spun web starts to unravel, and they have no choice but to turn inward. Without her participation, their own toxicity begins to eat away at them. Their lies become heavier to carry. Their schemes lose meaning. Their ego, starved of attention, starts to crumble. They spiral deeper into their own darkness because the person they tried to control simply stepped away. Think of it like this: a fire needs oxygen to keep burning. The Sigma woman removes that oxygen. She doesn't throw water, she doesn't shout, she just lets the fire suffocate itself. This isn't passive weakness, it's strategic power. It's the ultimate act of control to not give control away. She lets their poison consume them while she stands apart, whole and untouched. So if you're a Sigma female, remember, sometimes the strongest move is doing nothing. Your silence, your absence, your refusal to engage is a force that destroys more than words ever could. Let them unravel while you rise. In final words, strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet force that changes everything. Sigma females are not just people who move through life on their own terms. They are the living consequences for those who choose to spread harm, deceit, and manipulation. Their power is subtle but unstoppable. They don't waste energy fighting battles others expect. Instead, they rise above, building walls where others build traps. They turn pain into wisdom, silence into justice, and absence into the loudest message. If you've ever dealt with someone toxic, you know how exhausting it can be to try and fix or reason with them. A Sigma female shows us a different way, one where your peace and integrity matter more than convincing others to see the truth. Like a strong tree that stands firm while storms rage, she embodies calm resilience and deep self-respect. Remember, this is not about vengeance or bitterness. It is about owning your power quietly and refusing to be a part of toxic games. If someone tries to pull you down, be the one who doesn't even bend. Like that friend who simply stopped replying to drama and suddenly everything around them shifted because the noise lost its fuel. So if you want to learn how to become unshakable, how to protect your energy, and how to let karma do the work for you, this video will open your eyes. Watch it closely, because the world needs more Sigma women who walk their truth with strength and silent fire. It's time to stop playing their game and start living your power. Thank you for watching the Rare Gems, and God bless you.